Hey there, my name is Crafty Kathy. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I have some Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs for you today. I hope you enjoy. Last time I went to the Dollar Tree, I found these 2 candle stands, and they're not very Christmassy the way they look right now, so I took all the stickers off of them. I took them outside, and I gave them a couple of coats of my Rust-Oleum ×2 flat black, the matte color. That was a mouthful. I also have 2 of these hurricane vases. They're from Dollar Tree. And they have some that are a bigger version and a smaller version. These are the smaller version. So I have 2 of those. And I have 2 of these jars that I got at Dollar General. They have little snowflakes and Christmas trees on them. And they were $3 a piece. These round jars are absolutely beautiful the way they are. But I wanted to do something to really make those snowflakes and Christmas trees stick out. So what we're going to do is just take the tops off. We're actually not even going to use the tops, but you know you save those for a different craft. I'm just going to take some Mod Podge, and I like this size bottle of Mod Podge to use for this because it made it so much easier. What I'm going to do is just take my Mod Podge, I'm going to pour it inside, and I'm going to move my jar around as I pour it. That way, it's just going to run down the sides, and we don't have to, waste a lot of time by putting all of it in there. It's already exactly where we need it. Now, we want the whole inside of this jar covered, so we're going to use our little paintbrush to kind of help us get it where we need it. And you just go all the way around and make sure that every spot is covered. Now, the next thing we're going to do is just take some regular Epsom salt. And normally, I would mix Epsom salt with some of my diamond glitter, but I'm out of my diamond glitter. So I just did the Epsom salt, and I poured it inside the jar. And I'm turning the jar and letting the excess fall out. That way, it's going to grab on everywhere it needs to go. And then I had to use my finger to get it around the rim of the glass a little bit better. And this is what it looks like when you get it all covered up right. Since I had so little, I didn't add that glitter into the Epsom salt. What I did was just kind of sprinkle what I had left inside the jar. And there wasn't much at all. I've got to get some more of this because I have been wearing it out this Christmas. And then I just did the second jar the exact same way. I put my Mod Podge in there, and don't be afraid to put a lot of Mod Podge in there. It's not going to matter. It's going to dry clear, and if you have any excess, just get it off on your paintbrush and just wipe it off. And I did the exact same process where I put the Epsom salt, and then I turned it sideways and let it pour out. Now we're going to put this together. I took some of my little string lights. Now, I got these from Amazon, but you can use the ones from Dollar Tree. And all I did was turn it on, and it's going to go down into the very bottom piece. And then my hurricane vase turned out looking like this. I used a spray that I found at a thrift store for just $1, and it is called Crystal Frost. And when you spray it on there, it literally looks like the way that a window looks when it's frozen over. It's really pretty. And then I sprayed just a little bit of this glitter blast over the top since I didn't have my glitter. What I'm going to do is set a little tea light in the top part. And then I'm just going to set that top part down into the round. And I'm going to set it on top of my little candle stand. And then I'm just going to take one of my piece of homespun, and I counted 4 little squares, and I'm just going to tie that right around the center part. Now, to keep it Dollar Tree, well, this is Dollar General, I'm going to use one of these little pieces. It's just a little tiny ornament. I cut the top off, and what I plan to do is put it right in the center. But the one that I used is one that I got from Walmart. I liked it better. I just thought it was pretty and prettier quality. I'm going to use the one with the Farm Fresh Christmas trees on it. And all I did was just cut the top little piece off and put it on there. And I hope you like this one. Very Merry Christmas. DIY number 2 is bells and scale. On this one, I took 3 of these little bells that you get from the Dollar Tree. And I got the red ones because that's all there was. It's best if you can find the silver ones for this. And then I just clipped the top little piece off because we're not going to need that. Be careful not to break that little top piece off because it's very fragile. And then you're going to pull that garland tie out and just have your regular bell there. This is what we've got once that I spray painted all of mine. And what I'm going to do is after it dries, I'm just going to take a piece of a sponge, just a small piece of a sponge, use my Waverly Antique Wax, get the excess off, and I'm going to dab it all over my little bell. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the inside of my bells. Then I've got some of my Dollar Tree rope, and I am going to pull apart the strands. We only need one of the strands, and I'm going to tie one end of this in a knot, and then I'm going to push it up inside my little bell. And then I'm going to tie another knot at the very top. And then I'm just going to cut the ends of this off. Then I'm just going to take one of those strands and I'm going to run it through the side of my bell where the little hole is underneath where I tied that knot there. I'm just going to run it through there, and I'm going to use my little Cricut tool to kind of pull it through to the other side. And then I'm just simply going to tie a little knot in the top, and that's going to be the little hanger for the bell. And then when I have that completed, this is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to do the exact same process to all 3 of my bells. Now we're going to make our scale. I have one of these little bowls from the Dollar Tree, and then I have one of their little platters that they have out at the springtime. I'm going to take 4 Jenga blocks, and I'm going to place 2 on each side. This is the simplest form of a scale that you can make. I have made it before where it has the face on it, but I didn't want to do it on this one. I wanted it simple. So I glued those down and put my little tray on the top. And then when you finish with that, this is what it's going to look like so far. I took it outside and I spray painted it with my black flat matte in the Rust-Oleum 2x. And this is what we've got when we're finished. I'm simply going to take a piece of my homespun and I'm just going to tie a little knot in the front part. And this is what it looks like so far. It's so cute. Now I'm going to put this together, and what I did was just took a little wreath form that comes from the Dollar Tree. It's actually the little garland, and I made it to the form of a wreath. And then I laid just a couple of little picks down to create like a little makeshift wreath. And then I'm just going to set my bells right inside there in the way that I think that they look good. And I have a total of $5 in this piece. It's simple, but it actually looks very high-end. I hope you like it.
Then you know it's Christmas when the snow starts to fall. Then you know it's Christmas for the children above all. Then you know it's Christmas 'cause Santa's on his way. We're standing under the mist.
And for the last DIY, these are very simple. We're going to do some artwork. The first one is going to be this little sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. I take the back off of it, and I tried to peel the paper off, but it didn't totally come off, but that's fine. And I'm going to use this as a template to put over this little burlap sack that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I just traced it out, and I'm going to cut it off with my little rotary cutter. If you're enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button and don't forget to be a subscriber. Now I'm going to take my Distress Oxide. that I get from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to go all around the sides of this. The color that I use is called Weathered Twigs. And then I'm just going to use my little brush. It's like a shading brush. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, by the way. I got mine off of Amazon, and I just went all over the front of this to make it look kind of old and vintagey. I'm going to use my Elmer's glue stick and put it down on my little board, and then I'm just going to lay my picture down over top of it, and it stuck perfectly, and I put it all back together. Then I used my Weathered Twigs and the shading brush to just kind of go over the beads. I didn't want a full coverage, but this did a perfect job at staining them. Then for my next one, I'm going to take this little window that came out at the springtime in the Dollar Tree. I popped the front piece off, and it has like a little sticker deal in the middle there, and I just used my hot glue gun to get it off. I took it outside and I sprayed it with my black spray paint, and when I brought it back inside, I laid it down over a bag that I absolutely loved, and I'm just going to trace to where I need to cut this at. And then I'm going to cut it with my rotary tool. And then I have another bag with this gorgeous, gorgeous picture on the front of it. So I did the exact same thing, and I'm going to use another one of these little window frames, and I took it outside and I spray painted it like an almond color. I don't remember the name of it. I believe it's called Toasted Almond. This is what my frames look like after I have them spray painted, and they turned out gorgeous. And I just took the back of these off, and I used that little kit that comes from the Dollar Tree, and it's for eyeglasses, but it's perfect for small crafts like this. So if you ever see them, pick it up. I placed my pictures right in the center of my little window frame, and then I just put the screws back in, and at the top they have a little hanger. That way if you want to hang it up, you can. And if there's any excess that's kind of hanging over, just use your rotary tool and cut that off. These turned out absolutely gorgeous. I wanted the little truck picture to light up, so I just took some, like a little Dollar Tree string light, and I literally just taped it anywhere where I wanted the light to come through. And then I want this to be able to stand up, and I glued the battery pack to one side, and I'm going to use a Jenga block on the other side of it and just glue it there where it will stand up. I have some little snowflakes that I had from a previous DIY. I made them with my clay and my IOD Blitz mold. And I'm just going to place 3 of these down on the little cream colored picture because I didn't put lights on it. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge down in the corner, down in the bottom of the picture. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of fake snow there because the little horse and the people are going through the snow, and I thought it would be so pretty to add just a little bit of snow there. And I did the exact same thing with the picture of the truck. A little Mod Podge and just a little bit of the faux snow. These are absolutely gorgeous. I took one of my little red and black checkered bows that I get from Amazon and popped it right down on the bottom of my little truck. And then I took this little white fence that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's in the section where all the little miniature stuff that goes in the snow globes is. And I'm just going to put my little picket fence right on the very front of this. And I think it gave it a beautiful little added touch. And at Hobby Lobby, I found these little miniature wreaths, and they were just $1.50 because they're half off, and you get 8 of them in there. It's a great deal. And I'm going to put this right down in the very center of my little picket fence. I just cut my little hanger off and used a little hot glue to put it down. And then I gave everything a good spray with that glitter blast spray because I didn't have any more of my glitter. And I love these. They're quick and easy, but look very high-end.
Sleigh bells are ringing out by the sea, sending a message of love and sympathy. I've been waiting by the phone, and this song will meet you at the door. This Christmas will be something unreal. she wrapped up in my arms.
Let's jump right into the first one. I've got 2 of these trees that come from the Dollar Tree. You know, they're only about a foot tall each, and these are kind of old. They've been in a tote, so I'm just straightening them up and getting all the branches the right way, and then I'm going to butt them up together where the 2 bottom parts are kind of, you know, butted up. Since these are going to be laying flat, we want them to look as full as possible. So all I'm doing here is pulling those branches around to the front, because that way they're going to lay flat on my table when I put them butt to butt. When I get them the way I want them, I'm just going to place them kind of close together, and I'm going to take a zip tie. Now you can get these zip ties at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put 3 zip ties on them, 1 right in the very center, and then 1 on each side where the little, you know, the bottom part of the tree ends. We just want to secure it to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm just going to cut the little piece of the zip tie off that sticks up and is in the way. My craft room was such a mess. I could not find my wire cutters, so I have these dog clippers, and I thought it was funny. I was going to show that to you. But hey, they worked. They clipped the zip ties right in two. Now you notice whenever you put those together how sparse it looks. So we've got a remedy for that. You get some of those garland ties, I believe is what they call them. It's just the little picks that's like the piece of evergreen here. You're going to put 1 definitely right in the center, if not 2. You just put as many as you need to fill this out. It took about, I would say about 6 to 8 of these garland ties just to fill it out. Now these are little cedar picks. They are selling these at Dollar Tree, y'all. I got these off of Amazon because I bought them before I knew that Dollar Tree had them this year, but Dollar Tree is carrying these. And you'll notice I'm putting 1 on each side. I'm doing the exact same way every time I do florals or anything of that nature. What I put on the left side, I put in the exact same spot on the right side. So here I added 4, and you see where they're at. They're not right in the very center. They're away from the center just a little bit. And the way that I have the garland ties in there, they're very easy just to stick in there, and it literally holds them. They're not going to go anywhere. This is almost making an X, if you'll notice here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take a couple of more of those, and we're going to go up a little bit towards the very ends. And we're going to do the exact same thing. I think that I used a total of, so far I've used 6, and I believe I put at least 2 more in. So far I've used a total of 8. Now we're going to take these beautiful silvery, I guess they're just wisp, I don't really know what you would call them, and we're going to add those in there. Now everything that I'm showing you is at the Dollar Tree. Even if I didn't get my piece, like those cedar picks, I got those from Amazon, but Dollar Tree carries those, and Dollar Tree carries these pieces also. So these are going to go right next to that first cedar pick that we put in. We put 1 on the left side and 1 on the right side, the exact same thing that I do before. Now, I didn't want a whole bunch of silver in this because I've got some other things that are going in here. So I wanted to kind of pace myself and not go crazy at first, because I have a habit of doing that and overdoing things. So I just put in 4 of these, and you see where they're at. They're not right in the very center. They're almost about 3/4 of the way, if that makes any sense to you guys. But you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to add some of these beautiful red berry picks with my pet clippers here. I'm clipping them off. So I leave a little bit of the stem on, and the first thing I do is put them where I think they're going to look good, and that's what I'm doing here. And then after I sit back and look at it and see if it's going to look all right,
I'll put a dab of glue on the end of it and then stick it back in there. But for now, we're just trying to figure out our placement. And notice I'm almost putting these right on top of those silvery things there. That way they're going to show up real good, they're going to pop, and they're going to be beautiful. I purposely am keeping the video kind of slow. I'm going to speed it up just a minute because I'm doing the exact same thing. It's repetitive. I'm just putting my first 4 berries on right by the little silver things. Then I'm going to put a couple more just a little bit further back on my centerpiece. So just to recap, I'm putting a total of 6 little things of berries. You see the 4 bigger ones in the center, toward the center, and the 2 smaller on the ends. Now these are little like mistletoe picks. I actually found these at Walmart for only 97 cents. But they do have these exact same ones at the Dollar Tree. But in my opinion, the ones from the Dollar Tree aren't as pretty. So sometimes Dollar Tree is not the best bang for your buck. Now this is where I looked and I saw my placement was good and I'm adding my glue. Just a little dab of glue on the end and you stick it in your little bushes and it's going to hold. Don't worry about that at all. And you see I've added 4 pieces of the mistletoe. They're right kind of behind, I guess you could say, those berries. And I've got 4 there. Now I'm going to add a couple more of these cedar picks. And by the way, the cedar picks from the Dollar Tree look exactly like these. They're really pretty. They're good quality. They're beautiful. And here's where I'm going back. Like I told you, I always put my stuff down first, make sure it's going to look good, and then put glue. So I'm just adding a couple more berries here and there. And I'm showing you right here, basically, that what I put on one side, I put on the other. You see? It's exactly the same. This is how you build any centerpiece, swag, any kind of floral arrangement. This is how you build it. You just make sure you put the same on both sides and just trust the process and keep going until you're happy with what you've got. Now I'm going to take some of these small pine picks. See how little these are? They're just little pine picks. And we're going to add them. It's important when you're doing florals to have different textures. Like my base is the little Christmas trees. And you're barely even, they're just almost like an afterthought, I guess you could say. They're in the background. It's just for a filler. And then you add the cedar, and now we're adding the pine. So we've got different types of textures added in there, and it makes for a beautiful display. You see here, I'm almost toward the ends, and I've put 2 on both ends here so far. I'm just going to go throughout the piece where I think that it needs this small piece of pine, and I'm just going to add it. And of course, whatever I add to one side, I'm going to add to the other. And I used quite a bit of these pine picks because they're small and because they add just a beautiful touch. And notice how I can pick it up like this. Everything's secure, nothing's falling off, so we're going to keep going. The next thing I'm going to do is take the ribbon. This ribbon is from the Dollar General, and it just says Merry Christmas. It looks like it's embroidered all over it. And it is a burlap color, and then the wired part on the edges there is red. And I'm just cutting each part that says Merry Christmas. If I have to guess, I would say I'm maybe cutting off 3 inches, maybe 3.5. I'm folding it in half. And then I'm going to kind of pinch it in the middle. You see, I've just got it pinched. And then I'm going to fold it in half while it's pinched. That's pretty much all I'm doing. and sticking it down in just different places inside this centerpiece. It just dawned on me to point out that those berries that I've got on there, I've got the larger berries toward the center, and as you notice, as I go further out, I go smaller. That way your eye is drawn to the center of the centerpiece. Now back to my little ribbon. You see I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm just going to pinch it in the middle, and then I'm going to just, it's a makeshift bow really, and then I'm just going to tuck it down in there. I hope I'm going slow enough for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm loving the view right here. I'm so thankful that my husband fixed my little my camera angle, because you know you're not looking at my head anymore. Yay! Now this fabric is called homespun fabric. I'm literally counting 4 little squares over on it, and I cut it and then it rips just like burlap does. You can pull it and it'll rip right down the middle, and it's going to be even all the way down, and it gets kind of frayish, like frayy on the ends, which I like that. If you don't like that, just take it off and cut it off. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm getting about a 5 inches a piece. If I had to guess, they're about 5 inches long. I am folding them in the middle and sticking them down in here just like I did the bows. And you see, I'm doing these the exact same way that I do everything else. What goes on one side goes on the other side. And I added some of these right in the center, almost right in the center, but not quite. And I'm just ripping off some more. Now this fabric, I did get this fabric at Goodies. What Goodies? What am I talking about? Hobby Lobby. Goodies is not even around me anymore. I don't know what I'm thinking. Good gracious, Kathy. It's been a long day, y'all. Don't know what's going on. What? Anyways, I'm just adding some more of these in here, and you'll see where I'm adding it. I'm adding it toward the ends, about 1/4 of the way, 1/2 of the way, 3/4 of the way. Just kind of here and there, just anywhere that looks good. As long as you put it on the opposite side, you're going to do good on this. Don't you worry. Your centerpiece is going to be beautiful. Now you can find all kinds of fabric, those fat quarters at Dollar Tree, but my Dollar Tree did not have anything that looked Christmassy whatsoever, so I did get this fabric at Hobby Lobby. And so I did tell a little white lie, not purposely, but I did tell y'all that everything's from the Dollar Tree, but not everything is, obviously. Now I'm just running my mouth. I'll be quiet and let you just watch what I'm doing. I've got my finger protectors on because it's very important when you're pushing that fabric down in there, when you put that glue on there, you don't want to burn yourself, so just be careful. You got to save them little fingers so you can craft another day, right? Now, this DIY is the longest one of the video, so if I'm boring you guys or anything, just please have patience because this one takes a little bit longer. I just wanted to slow it down for those of you that are not so sure about yourselves when it comes to the centerpieces and the swags. You can use this as like a teardrop swag. You can turn it sideways and use it as a, traditional swag. Hang it on the door. You can use it as a beautiful centerpiece. And here I'm just going to show you, look, everything's still intact, and this is what we've got so far. And if you need to use those little garland ties that we put on there to kind of hold stuff down, they've got wire in them, so they're really easy to twist around these little branches and stuff if you want something to kind of be held into place, because you don't want to try to hang this up on your door or your wall and have in the back of your mind that pieces might fall out. You definitely don't want that, especially if you're going to put it on your front door. The next thing I'm going to do is take these silver bells, and they are from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take 3 of them because remember I told you things like that look better in 3s. Now, I like silver bells because of the song. I can't get that out of my mind. So most of the bells that I have at Christmas are silver, but I wanted to knock a little bit of that shine off of there. I'm just adding the Waverly Antique Wax. I'm going to add it all over here, and then I'm simply going to pat it with a rag. And the reason why I'm going to pat these with the rag is because that wax, if I just rub it, it's going to come right back off because that's a slick surface. So if you just kind of pat it, it gives you that perfect look like it's an old rusty bell. And so I'm going over them again. I just went over them probably about maybe 3 to 4 times just until it got the color that I was personally happy with. And I want you to look at the difference this makes on the bells. Now, you may be someone that likes the shinier ones better. That's fine. I just wanted to show you how I do them to make them look a little bit more rusty. I just pat them down. That's the secret. Now I'm just finishing up by doing my very last bell. I'm going to pat it off, and then we're going to move along. I'm going to place my 3 bells right smack dab in the center of this centerpiece. And I just kind of put them almost as if they're going in different directions here. I've got one of these packs of those little mini pine cones, and I'm just going to add a couple of these here and there, just wherever I think that it needed it. And I do the exact same thing like I did with the other pieces. When I lay it down and see that the placement is good, I'm going to stick just a little bit of glue on the bottom and then place it right back down where I had it at. I'm taking the Waverly white chalk paint, putting a little bit on a fan brush, and I'm just going to dab it here and there all over the green parts to make it look like snow has kind of fallen on this. I like stuff to be frosted looking. You may not even like that, but I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to go through and put a little bit of frosted snow on everything. I know I keep saying it, but I just cannot get over how beautiful this is, guys. Dollar Tree. Look how beautiful. It's so pretty. So I got this little reindeer at the Dollar General for $1. And I do not like this black and white. Well, I like it, but it doesn't go with our motif we got going on. So I'm going to hit it with a little bit of the heat from my heat gun just to melt the glue that's on there so I can pull that bow right off. Then I take my little doggy clippers and I clip it. It had like a little thingy on the top of it where you could hang it up if you wanted to, and I wanted to take that off. It was in the middle of his antlers, and then I just cut it off so you couldn't see it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this fabric that I've got. I'm going to just tie a simple ribbon in it, and we're going to place that on his neck. But I'm going to place it a little bit higher because I didn't like it right underneath him the way that one was. I think it looks so much better when it's right there on his neck. But before I place it on his neck, I just quickly dovetailed the ends of this. I didn't dovetail the ends of anything else, so I'm not really sure why I did this, but hey, it looked cute. Now, when you're sticking the fabric and stuff down in there, I don't think it looks as good as if you were to dovetail it anyway. That's why I didn't dovetail anything else. But I did do this because the little ribbon goes right there on him. I finally found my actual wire clippers, and I just cut a little bit off the bottom of this because we're just simply going to put that in our little centerpiece. And I hope you like this one, guys. I'm going to show it to you the different ways. This is like a teardrop type swag, like I had talked about. And then I'm going to show you pictures of different ways. This is it if you were to set it like a traditional swag, you know, long ways, I guess you could say.
For the children above all, Christmas, 'cause Santa's on his way. We'll stand under the mistletoe, and then it's Christmas Day. The joyful times we witness forever stays with us. Soon Rudolph hears his whistle and gathers all his friends. When Santa and his missus wraps the final gift.
And then here is the actual vision that I had when I first started making this. I'm going to personally use this as a centerpiece, laying down like this with the little deer right in the center by my bells. And I took 2 candlesticks. I wanted the ones from Dollar Tree, those new skinny black ones that they've got, but I couldn't find them. So these are 2 from the thrift store, and you literally just shimmy them inside the branches there, and I tied some of the fabric around them, and it makes a gorgeous centerpiece display. I hope y'all like this. I think it's beautiful.
And then you know it's Christmas. Snow starts to fall, and then you know it's Christmas for the children of all. And then you know it's Christmas, 'cause Santa's on his way. We'll stand under the mistletoe, and then it's Christmas Day.
All right, now we're moving into the quick DIYs. That was the only long one. And we're going to go into number 2. And this one, these are 3 beautiful reindeer that I picked up at the Dollar General. They were $3 a piece. And I like them the way they are, but my vision for these is for them to be solid white. So I took them outside and sprayed them with that Rust-Oleum 2 times matte white. I had to give it about 2 to 3 coats to cover. In my opinion, these reindeer didn't really need anything else, but I am taking just a small piece of that fabric, that homespun fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I would say I'm using about maybe 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches, and simply tying like a little knot type bow around each one's neck. And I think this is gorgeous. I think it's very elegant. And to me, when I think of elegant, I think of simplicity with just a little dab of something beautiful. So to me, these are elegant. But you got to remember, I am from Tennessee. So I had to put a little spin of to me, this fabric is very farmhouse. So it's kind of like elegant farmhouse, I guess you could call my taste. But I think these are so sweet with just that little bit of ribbon on them. Then I'm going to go through and add one of these small little red bells that come from a pack from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to put it right in the center of their little scarves. Elegant scarves. I did want to put a stamp on them, and this is my IOD Christmas stamp, and I'm going to put the word comfort on one of them. On the next one, I'm placing the word and on the next one, it's going to say joy, because you know the song Good Tidings of Comfort and Joy, and that's what came to my mind, and I happened to have the stamps, so I put her on there, and I hope you like this one. It's simple and quick, and in my opinion, it's elegant.
It's December again, I can't believe it. Whatever happened
the rest of the year. It went by so fast, I barely did see it. Now I'm
DIY number 3 is another very simple one. I got 2 of these candy canes that light up. They're from the Dollar Tree, and I believe that they are about 2 foot tall a piece. If I had to guess, I would say they are exactly 2 foot tall, if not just a little bit taller. So I'm going to take these, and I'm going to take the fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby. And by the way, I got this fabric very, very cheap. I got 1 yard of this fabric for all these DIYs I'm doing. I still have some left over when I was finished. And I think I maybe paid $2 for that whole yard. And you see here, I'm actually counting how many squares I'm going. And I counted 4 squares over. I put a little cut and then I pull. And it rips perfectly right down it. I started off at the little tippity top here. I'm putting a little bead of glue on the underneath part, and then I'm simply going to go and start wrapping this fabric all around my little candy canes until I get to the very bottom. Now when I got around, kind of around the corner here of the candy cane, I did put a little bit of glue just to make sure that we didn't come undone. And I kept these in a tight roll all the way down. I did have to use a couple of little pieces of this ribbon going down, but I would put the glue down where I stopped at, and then I would start right over the top of it, and you can't even tell that any of the fabric ever had a stopping or starting point. And so I'm going to just keep going all the way down through here, put just a little dab of glue, and just keep going. Once you get around that little hook on the top, it goes very fast. When you run out of your piece of fabric, all you do is glue another piece down, and then you just keep going. And it did take 3 pieces of this ribbon, but it was exactly enough to get at the bottom. And then I ended it with just a little bit of glue. And you turn these on by a little push button on the very bottom part, by the way. And that was very simple, and that's my 2 little candy canes. And I think they are so pretty with this homespun fabric. I simply crisscross them in the middle, and I'm going to use those tie wraps again. I put one right in the center, and then one on the side here. That way they're totally secure and they're not going anywhere. This thing is going to go on my front door, so I didn't want to make my X here too wide where it's going to be wider than the door, but you just make it the size you want it, because when you put the tie wraps on, it's not going anywhere. I have these beautiful gingerbread men, and these are from the Dollar Tree. They're just little foam gingerbreads, and I'm just going to paint eyes on each one of them. I'm just using my Sharpie to do that. And 2 of them are going to be little girls, so I gave them little eyelashes. I went through all my buttons, and I get my buttons in those little containers from the Dollar Tree. They come in either solid black, or you can get ones that are different colors. And of course, I have so many of those because I'm a button fanatic, you know. And so I put 3 buttons on each one, and I stayed with black on all of them so they would all match. Now I'm just going to take a small square of this homespun that was left over. I would say it's about 1 inch long. We're making the little hair bows for our girls. So all I'm going to do is take this square, I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and then I'm going to take a piece of my jute and just tie it right in the center. And then I'm just going to clip the very ends of that jute off. Now I'm just going to place a little bit of glue on the back, and I'm going to pop these right up on the top of the 2 little girls' heads. And as soon as I did that, I realized that the ones that I had made the eyelashes for are not the ones that I put the bow on. So I quickly made little eyelashes on these and fixed the other two that did have the eyelashes. I'm going to do like I had done the others and put the little red bell right in the middle of my bows. Then I'm going to spray them with some of that Loctite spray adhesive, and I'm going to use my little glitter that I get from Walmart. It's a diamond glitter, and I sprinkle it all over these guys, and it looks just like sugar. And after I put the glitter on, I added a little bit more glue so that it would stay. Now I'm just taking a longer piece of my ribbon, and I am actually putting a little bit of glue and folding it in half. I would say this is about 6 inches long. I'm folding it in half, and then I'm going to put it around their necks as though it's a scarf, and I'm just going to glue it on the backs. And the little boys are getting these scarves. Then I laid my little gingerbread out to where I thought that the placement was correct and they looked good. And I'm going to start laying them out. I put one little girl on the top, one on the bottom, and then the 3 little boys go kind of down the middle there. One right in the center and then one on each side. That uneven number for some reason just always looks good. And just a little bit of glue will do it on these because they're made of foam and they stick very easily. I took one of these little wood cutout pieces that come from the Dollar Tree this year, and it just says Merry Christmas, and I did almost like a dry brushing of the white Waverly chalk paint all over the front of it. And while it's wet, I added a little bit of my glitter. And then I'm just going to place it right in the middle there on the little gingerbread that's in the middle. And it fit perfectly as if he was holding the sign in his little hands. And I just glued it with some hot glue. At this point, to me, the scarves didn't look right. So I took another little square of the fabric, and I'm just going to place a bead of glue on it, fold it up, and kind of stick it at the corner of each of their little scarves as if it's kind of like the end of the scarf coming off from his little neck. And I'm putting them going in different directions. Some of them will have it on the right side, some of them will be on the left side. That way it just looks right because it's not all the same. It just gives a little something different to the piece, I think. Once I got their scarves finished, I'm taking the little red bells and putting them right on the scarves where the little end starts to flip out. And then I'm just going to cut this tiny little sprig of pine. I'm going to cut a couple of pieces off, and I'm going to add a piece of pine to each of them right underneath their little scarf there, just for a little added something something. And it was absolutely driving me crazy that the boys had scarves, but the girls didn't. And it just looked kind of odd to me, so I did add a quick little scarf onto the girls' necks also. So then I just finished up by putting the pine under all my scarves. Then the very last thing I did was take 2 of these little balls that I get from the Dollar General for $1. They're just little silver balls. And I'm going to clip the end of this little hanger off. And I'm going to place them in the holes that are on that little sign that says Merry Christmas, as if it's just kind of hanging off the sign. And I sprayed it with a little bit of that spray glue and hit it with a little bit of the glitter. And I hope you like this one. I think it's the cutest thing ever.
Sleigh bells are ringing out by the sea, sending a message of love and sympathy. Baby, I'm falling under your charm. All I ever wanted, got you wrapped up in my arms, and we'll stay up all night, and the fireside is blazing bright. This Christmas will be something unreal. Darling, you saved my heart, just as I thought I was falling.
Our very last DIY is very quick and easy. I picked this beautiful bag from the Dollar Tree. I got it last year. And you just take all of the little hangers, all the clippings off of it, and you're going to use the front part. You know, the back part is where I consider where the bottom of the bag is like folded up. So we take the front part, and you're going to cut right off of the sides here. Not in the middle of the sides, but just that front picture, we're cutting it off. And I turned the bag sideways to make it a little bit easier. You see, I'm just cutting the front piece off. And then I flatten my bag out, and I've got that front picture totally freed from the back. And then I'm also needing the sides of this bag. So you flatten that bag out and you cut the sides of it off also.
It's white outside, and the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas.
I used my rotary tool to cut a straight line down this, and it made it so much easier.
You can feel it in the air that every child got their heart.
Then I take the sides of the bag and I kind of play with it a little bit so it's not so stiff. And then I just roll it up in the middle, and I'm going to put glue all the way down on the very end and roll it together. And I'm going to do that to both of the sides here.
Lights lighting up this town, and as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
Then I'm simply going to place one of those rolls up at the top and put hot glue all around up there, and place one at the top and one down on the bottom. And this is going to be a beautiful scroll that goes on the wall.
Our family and friends.
Then I just took a long string of my ribbon and I threaded it through that very top piece of the scroll, and it wasn't actually long enough. So what I had to do is cut off another long piece, and instead of tying it together and making knots everywhere, I just glued the ends of it together there, and you couldn't even tell that it was two separate pieces. I only glued one side of that last piece of ribbon because the other one I used it to just tie a simple bow in the top. Then I'm going to spray my spray adhesive all over my bag and use my beautiful glitter all over it to top it off. I hope you like this one. It's very simple and easy, and somehow it's high-end looking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have so many ideas that are exactly like these coming up in my next video. I didn't have enough room in one video to shove them all. So Friday, get ready because it's going to be even better than this one. It's going to be high-end dollar store decor once again because I really enjoyed doing these. It was simple and easy and very high-end looking. Let me know if you like this kind of content. And hey, Don't you forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and hit that little bell beside the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any of my Christmas episodes.
Hey there, everybody. It's me, Cousin Bobby Joe, Kathy's beautiful, talented, lovely, stars in my eyes cousin all the way from the hills of Tennessee, baby. Guess what I've been doing this week? I've been doing a little turkey hunting back in the woods. Well, anyways, y'all know that Thanksgiving's coming up next week, and I ain't gonna miss my turkey. But you know, the past few years, if I haven't been able to find a turkey, I'll just find a possum that's on the side of the road that maybe somebody just run over. It's still fresh, okay? Don't pitch a fit on me. Especially if I see it get run over, then I stop and pick it up, and that's going to be our Thanksgiving meal. That's the best meal you can imagine. And it's a Tennessee special. Oh yeah, my mama can make a mean possum stew, y'all. Y'all all need to come over to my house for Christmas and see how we do it around here at Christmas. Boy, we shake it down. Oh yeah. And you know all my family comes down off the mountain and out of the hollers, and it's amazing when we all get together. But you know as well as I do, all my family's good looking, but they ain't none as pretty as me, baby. Yeah! That's why I'm the big Hollywood star in the family. Oh, you ask about Hollywood? Well, guess what? Last week, I got put in jail again because I went and quote-unquote stalking Johnny Depp again. I wasn't stalking him, though. I just went and I actually saw him on the street, or at least I thought it was him. And I told the man that he was so good-looking and I loved him and I'm going to be in his next movie. Well, the man apparently wasn't Johnny Depp and he had me thrown in jail. So this is the fourth time I've been thrown in jail over that Johnny Depp. You know what? It makes me so mad. I might not just be the leading lady in his next movie. You know, because I don't think that he's got much respect for me. Even though it wasn't him, the man told me that I was crazy if I thought Johnny Depp was going to be in the hills of Tennessee and I just spotted him on the road. But you never know, because there are a lot of stars running around here in Tennessee. I mean, think about Dolly. Hello? Shout out, Dolly! You know I love you, girl! Guess what the theme of my Christmas is this year? Okay, so, since we've been having a lot of tough times in our family this year, I figured that my Christmas theme is going to be Hard Candy Christmas. Do you remember that beautiful song by Dolly Parton where I think she must have broken up with somebody or something? I don't know. But she starts a singing, Lord, it's like a hard candy Christmas. I'm barely getting through tomorrow, but still I won't let sorrow bring me way down. Now that is the theme of my life right now, guys. I mean, come on. I know you guys are super excited because Cousin Kathy just hit 20,000 subscribers. And we all laughed and made fun of her when she first started this YouTube and told her she was stupid and nobody from the hills of Tennessee was ever going to have a YouTube channel. But I mean, look at me. I am a Hollywood star and I'm from the hills of Tennessee. So that just goes to prove that you can do anything you set your mind to, okay? And I love you all and I hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving. I love y'all and I'll